Good morning, fastball fans, and welcome to Thursday at the 2024 ISC World Tournament. Blair Setford starting solo on the ISC network with the Fargo Kegel Black Knights out on the field. The Grand Prairie Pirates in white pinstripes coming to the plate. This is loser's bracket action, or as we've been calling it here, the redemption round. We've got lots of coverage for you all day today from the ISC World Tournament here in beautiful Softball City in Surrey, British Columbia. It's another gorgeous day, 21 degrees, not a cloud in sight. Just a wonderful day for the best men's fast pitch club tournament in the world. Leading things off for the Grand Prairie Pirates is going to be Braden Archon. He'll be followed by Corey Jones. Pat Burns hits in the 3 spot. Scott Nehigh, the designated player cleanup. Then Keegan Archon, Derek Mason, Chris Walushka. Mitch Stack is into the lineup in place of Scott Galenza, Kevin Schellenberg. Riley Mannion will be on the board for Grand Prairie. Defensively, for the Fargo Kegel Black Knights, Dustin Houtzen left, Logan Boom, BJ Gullick, and then around the horn, Tom Crouch, Dante Biagini, Damon Creasy, Jeff Lewis is at first. Mike Jamieson gets the start this morning, pitching to Jaden Stratford. Josh Pettit has done the bulk of the work here. Robbie Schweier has been suffering from a tight back, and I talked to Robbie the other day. He said he's really been struggling to get loose. Wasn't sure when or if he would be able to go. So it'll be Jameson to start, and I'm suspecting that they're hoping they can go as long as they can with Mike Jamieson, the veteran, originally from New Zealand. He's in the Wisconsin area these days. And then Josh Pettit will be ready to take over, likely after one time through the order. The Pirates come in with a 2-1 record. They were the Cardiac Kids in their first couple of games. Come from behind 6-5 victories in both of them. Slow roller, Crouch comes across in front of Biagini and makes the throw. So one down, that'll bring up Team Canada member Corey Jones. Our umpires for this one, Eric Salgado from Florida is on the plate. Matthew Leclerc from Quebec over at first, and Mike Morrissey from Ontario is at third. That's a good blue crew in anybody's eyes. Right under the glove of Dante Biagini. Hot shot off the bat of Corey Jones, and he's aboard for Grand Prairie with their first hit of the game. Real hot shot. Biagini just couldn't get the glove down in time. So Pat Burns to the plate. Burns comes in hitting a lofty .556 for the tournament. Three RBIs for Pat, who really seems to love hitting at this facility, at the Canadians that were held here last year, putting up slow pitch numbers for the tournament. Hitting in excess of 700 through most of that championship. Continue that into the early days here in the ISC World Tournament. Change up from Jamieson, misses the zone. Fouled straight back to the screen. Joe Todd will be joining us in a few minutes. Joe is doing some scouting on the ISC 2 games that are going on right now. Joe's the tournament director for the ISC 2 portion, and with a committee of folks is responsible for selecting the all-tournament team, and he has been keeping a keen eye on a number of those ISC 2 games. We will bring you the winter bracket final later today. Grand Prairie, Georgian Bay is in that game, along with the Sydney Tropics from Australia. Burns staying alive at the plate, full count to the 3 batter for Grand Prairie. Former basketball star in university. He's been a member of Team Canada in the past, most memorably the 2019 bronze medal game. Flares this one foul down the right side, where Pat pitched Canada to a 2-1 win, and he's going to go down to first on catcher interference. Stratford reaching in with the glove and just touching the bat. Bit of a tough break for the Kegel Black Knights. So we've got a quick defensive conference to talk about the signals. That's why the umpire has gone out. Eric Salgado has gone out to make sure that that is exactly what that conference is about. Runner at second base. Teams will want to change up the signals. So that's not a charge defensive delay. You get one players only conference. The coaches have 3 over the course of a game. Scott Nehigh, the batter. Drills this one deep and gone. First pitch swinging and a 3-run home run for Scott Nehigh. Straightaway center field, a line shot hard into the bleachers. And the Grand Prairie Pirates, a 3-0 lead, jumping out here in the first inning. Nehigh jumped on that, didn't waste any time. Keenan Arcan now at the plate, and he's got a couple of big home runs here for the Pirates. None bigger than in the first game when he triggered a win for the Pirates over the Georgian Bay Giants, 6-5. Georgian Bay scored 3 in the 7th to tie that game. Went ahead in the top of the 8th, but then the Pirates rallied in the bottom for the win. And a couple of days ago, they kind of blend together at this point, but a couple of days ago against the AWP Lumberjacks, Arcon had 3 RBIs. And again, a similar 6-5 score for the Pirates, the win over AWP. Again, they came from behind in that one as well. Then ran into the juggernaut that is the New York Gremlins. And a home run by Kevin Schellenberg, the lone highlight for Grand Prairie in that one. Just one down in the inning, 3 runs already in for the Pirates. If you're just getting in with us on the ISC Network, welcome and good morning Pacific time. Now 2 down as Keegan Arcon down on strikes. Corey Jones singled. Pat Burns reached on catcher interference. And then Scott Nehigh, first pitch, jumped on it and smashed a line drive home run right into the bleachers in center field. Keegan Archon now down on strike. So that's the 3-0 lead for Grand Prairie. Derek Mason, the veteran, Derek Mason to the plate. Was going to retire. And then the ISC World Tournament awarded to Softball City. And Derek thought, I am sticking around to play in my backyard. Signed on with Grand Prairie for the event. Was involved in a very emotional tribute to our late ISC Commissioner Craig Donaldson, whose idea it was to bring the ISC World Tournament here to Softball City. Craig passed away before he could see this project come to completion. But Derek and Craig's daughter Kayla, very emotional speech on Sunday morning at what was a terrific Hall of Fame breakfast. Robbie Schweier, Brad Rona, Donnie Hale, Jeff Goolagong, the players being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and Craig Donaldson in the administrator category. So full count to Derek Mason. Comes in hitting .286. The home run in the game against AWP. And that's ball 4 down low. So a 2-out walk to Mason will bring up Chris Walushka, the 7th batter of the inning for Grand Prairie. Snap throw down from Jaden Stratford, and he might have bumped the umpire with that one. Jaden Stratford touching everybody right now. Good young catcher. Like what he brings to the plate. He'll be hitting cleanup for Fargo when they come to the plate. Walushka at second base today, moving in from left field. He's always had that type of versatility. Could play middle infield, could play all 3 outfield positions, and do all of them well. Longtime member of Team Canada. Has played up and down the West Coast for teams out of California, out of BC. Solid career here in the ISC and on the tournament circuit. Late strike call on Walushka. Thought he had worked a walk. So yet another full count. Jamison gets Walushka to chase an off-speed rise ball off the corner. Grand Prairie Pirates strike for 3 in the top of the first on the strength of a big line drive home run by Scott Nehigh. We'll go to the bottom half with the Kegel Black Knights coming to the plate. Well hit, deep right field. It's curving. This one, well hit. to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Besgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Start spreading the news, Joe Todd. It's New York, New York. Set the batting order for you for the Kegel Black Knights. Dustin Houts, left fielder, to be leading off. Mike Lewis, Jeff Lewis, then Jaden Stratford, the catcher in the cleanup spot. Damon Creasy, who had a big day yesterday. BJ Gullick, Tom Crouch, Logan Boom, and in the 9 spot, Dante Biagini, shortstop for the Black Knights. First pitch, and Dustin Houts will earn first base the hard way. Defensively for the Grand Prairie Pirates, Mitch Stack into the lineup in left field, Braden Archon, Pat Burns, and around the horn, Derek Mason, Kevin Schellenberg, Chris Walushka, Corey Jones at first. It's Riley Mannion pitching to Keegan Archon. Mannion, a late addition to the Pirates. Zach Pierce, injured. Mannion, who was going to be number 4 with the Bear Creek Express, and he's had injury problems of his own throughout the season with a shoulder problem, but recovered enough to come pitch for the Pirates and was released courtesy of Bear Creek Express to help fill a void for the Pirates, and has pitched very well for them. Started the game for Grand Prairie against Georgian Bay. Liam Potts would get the win in relief there. Called strike on Mike Lewis. Mannion got the win in relief of Potts, so turnabout is fair play in the AWP game. Just off the corner. Mannion has spent time with the Canadian Junior Men's program, both the U19 as it was at the time, and then the U23 national teams. That one just misses upstairs. Plenty of potential with Mannion. He's a big, strapping young lad, about 6'2", 6'3". Long legs, long arms, got all the physical tools. Last year looked very impressive in his first season with Bear Creek. Throws hard, and I think he really enjoyed working with Ryan Boland, the Canadian national team catcher. Unfortunately, due to that shoulder problem, just really hasn't got the time on the board this year to further his development. It's good to see him pitching here in the World Tournament, to get the reps, to get the innings, but I don't think he's at 100%. Ground ball, Schellenberg on his back, flips to second, just not in time as Dustin Houts, who runs well, slides in, and 2 runners aboard for the Kegel Black Knights as they are looking to answer back to those 3 runs that the Pirates scored in the top, with a couple of runners aboard here in the bottom. Jeff Lewis, last year's leading hitter at the ISC World Tournament. In fact, not only was he the leading hitter, but in the history, the 77 at the time year history of the ISC World Tournament, 12 for 15 is tied for the highest ever batting average. A phenomenal achievement by Jeff Lewis. Shows bunt, goes after it. 0-2 on Lewis. 3 for 9 coming into today. Pair of singles and a triple. Couple of RBIs for Jeff. Just off the outside corner. Some courage to take that pitch with 2 strikes. This one is laced out to right and gone! Just like that, tit for tat. Kegel Black Knights tie up the game on a home run by Jeff Lewis. A 1-2 pitch gets too much of the plate, and Jeff Lewis on a line very similar to Scott Knee-High, and the Black Knights reply right back in the bottom of the first. Brand new ball game, 3-3, and nobody out for Kegel. Jaden Stratford, the cleanup batter, the catcher, to the plate. Chases after the rise ball up and out of the zone. Grand Prairie was ranked 9 in the final rankings and Kegel 10. So clearly the rankings committee, at least, basically had these two teams on a par. It's always hard when you're on that rankings committee because you've got people in one section of the continent, don't see teams on the other. You're going strictly by roster, reputation. We still don't get tournament results from all of the tournament organizers. Most of them are on board and send in scores, and we can track a lot of it through Game Changer, which has been a great innovation here in the last few years for digital scoring. Damon Creasy to the plate was a strong contender for Softball Premier Player of the Day yesterday. Was edged out by Jordan Solorio, but Creasy, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, including a grand slam, as the Kegel Black Knights knocked off the Pueblo Bandits 6-1. That was in an elimination game yesterday morning. And this one, deep fly to the fence, and it done it again! Damon Creasy, a 2-run home run, and from a 3-0 deficit coming into the home half of the first, suddenly it's 5-3 and counting. And still without an out. Grand Prairie got somebody up after the first home run. That's Liam Potts, the left-hander for the Pirates down in the bullpen. But boy, he's got to get warmed up in a hurry. Riley Mannion hasn't been able to get a ball past the Black Knights right now. That one misses downstairs. Off the glove of Mannion, becomes a slow roller out to Walushka. And the sixth batter is the first out of the inning. Tom Crouch, 7 batter. Called a strike on Crouch. One ball, one strike to the veteran from DeKalb, Illinois. Longtime ISC career going back to the early 2010s. With the old Bar of Appleton squad, not the current Bar of Appleton Buzz, but a different team back in the day. Has played for Circle Tap, Wander Springs, this year with the Black Knights. Two and two to Tom Crouch. And this one into the screen. Pot still warming in the Pirates bullpen, but not a lot of urgency, it's got to be said. That one misses outside. So a full count to Tom Crouch. A lot of pitches thrown by both of these guys in the first inning. Mannion's up to 28 and counting here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss, gets Crouch for the second out. And Kegel will send at least 8 guys to the plate here in the first. Logan Boom, second generation player. Dad Chad, longtime player in the Minneapolis area. Star for Team USA in the 90s and 2000s. In for a strike. And another second generation player on deck, Dante Biagini. His dad played in the Legends division for a number of years when that was first inaugurated here in the ISC in 2010. First 5 batters that come to the plate in the bottom of the first inning have all scored for the Black Knights. That's chop foul at the plate. If you're just getting in with us here on ISC Network, thanks for joining us. We started the day early at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Losers round action. This is the Kegel Black Knights in black at the plate. Grand Prairie Pirates in the white pinstripes are out in the field. In the top of the first inning, Scott Nehigh, the cleanup batter for Grand Prairie, hit a 3-run home run to put the Pirates out in front, but the Knights have roared right back here in the bottom of the first with 5 of their own. Swing and a miss by Logan Boom. 8 batters to the plate in the bottom of the first inning. It took 29 minutes to complete. 5-3 for the Knights. Let's take a breath and take a break before we come back for the second. How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business. How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT. So Mitch Stack, the 8 batter for the Pirates, and both of these teams already are deep into their batting orders through the first inning. 7 guys to the plate for the Pirates, 8 for the Knights. Mitch Stack is into the game in place of Scott Galenza. We saw Scott take a real hard hit. We saw Scott take a real hard hit to the chest on a real hard ground ball. Welcome in Joe Todd. That's all the rustling you hear as we get Joe set up. How did the ISC 2 games finish?
Lacey A's defeated the Chippewa Chiefs by a score of 3-0, and the Ohio Bombers defeated the Emory Electric team 5-0 on those 2 games that I was over watching.
So those were 2 elimination games. Ohio and
Lacey A's.
Lacey A's will move on in the bracket. The undefeated game for ISC 2 a little later today, Georgian Bay and Sydney, Australia. We'll attempt to bring that one to you as that's on Diamond 1 here at 3 p.m. scheduled start time. We might only be in the 4th inning in this one by 3 p.m. at the current pace. So Mitch Stack works a walk from Michael Jameson.
Wow, Blair, 8 runs in the first inning. Pretty explosive first inning.
It absolutely was an explosive first inning. A couple of laser beam home runs. Kevin Schellenberg, who had a big fly of his own. That was the only highlight for Grand Prairie in that 13-1 loss to the New York Gremlins. Otherwise, that was a game to forget for the Pirates. Schellenberg turns, squares, drops down a beauty. A great sack bunt, Joe. I know you're a particular fan of the sack bunts, but that one hugged the line and forced Tom Crouch to make a good play and an off-balance throw to get the still speedy Kevin Schellenberg.
Well executed. Laid down that bunt. He turned and pivoted on his back foot and kept the bat level. The whole thing on that bunting situation, keep your bat level.
So back to the top of the shop, Braden Archon with now a runner in scoring position. I think both teams, Joe, are figuring that runs are going to be aplenty in this one. They're often at a premium, maybe not in this one. Hard hit ground ball. Biagini at short snaps the throw over and retires Braden Archon.
Biagini gave a quick look over the runner at second base before he made that toss. Make sure he wasn't advancing.
Corey Jones, hard hit single in the first, came around to score on the home run by Knee-High. In for a strike from Jameson. With the 5-3 lead, Fargo electing to keep the bullpen empty for now. That might change, should the score change. Fouled straight back over the screen by Corey Jones. Joe, I can remember Corey Jones as, I want to say, about a 17-year-old in 2008? No. Maybe later than that, 2009. Yeah, I'm going to say 2009 with the Lloyd Minster Dodgers.
Oh, yes.
In ISC 2, the last year that ISC 2 was a standalone tournament. He might have been older than 17, maybe 19. That's the first time I remember seeing Corey Jones, and he was pretty special back then. Donnie Atkinson was on that Dodgers team. He's the coach now for Grand Prairie down in the third base coach's box.
They had that sharp Los Angeles Dodgers uniform.
They always had the top-looking uniforms,
Yeah.
but they never got the best dressed. Was always a sticking point for Donnie. We still joke about that whenever we get together.
I think of all the years I've done the World Tournament, I don't think I've done a Michael Jameson game.
Well, he spent a long time with the bar of Appleton Buzz. Moved over to Kegel this year as the Buzz unable to make this trip out. And Corey Jones is 2 for 2 and coming around and scoring without a throw. Mitch Stack comes in from second base, so that sacrifice bunt pays off and a 2-out RBI for Corey Jones.
Good follow through. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Good follow through by Corey Jones with that bat coming right through that strike zone. You want to pull that ball with that to the right side of the infield.
So Pat Burns, who reached on catcher interference. You don't see that very often, and was discussing it with Todd McCabe, who's off to our right, our Canadian vice president here in the ISC. Burns swings and misses. And Joe, you're another rules guy too. Catcher interference is actually an error on the catcher for scoring purposes. So Burns essentially reached on an error and scored. So that run would be unearned. Changeup misses up and away. For our Toronto Batmen fans, they're up 1-0 early on the Glowworm. We'll keep an eye on that one. You should be able to follow that on our Second Diamond streaming as well. And another changeup, and this one misses even further afield. Five to 4, our score here now. Run the count to 3-1. And ball 4. Corey Jones down to second base on the walk to Burns. Third walk of the game for Michael Jameson. And Knee-High, if this situation looks familiar to you, it's exactly the situation when he came up an inning ago. And that ball ended up about where that family is seated in the center field bleachers.
Were they there before?
They were not there before. They may get scattered if he does the same thing. off the plate.
Black Knights infield encouraging Jamison. Stay around that plate. Let us work for you.
In for a strike on the outside corner. That is a good spot for Michael Jamison to keep the ball. Jamison already at 47 pitches, Joe. Still here in the second
inning. Wow, that's going to be a long day.
Robbie Schweier is now throwing down in the bullpen, so he's going to try to loosen up the back. Flared out to left field. That's going to be a long run for Houts. He dives. It's a fair ball in and out of the glove. Burns up to third. Knee-high to second. And guess what, Joe? We've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Wow, it's going back and forth, back and forth. That ball hit just out in a spot where no one could get it. Dustin Houts ran a long way for that ball. Just fell into a spot right, maybe 50 feet behind third base.
We've seen a lot of balls that have fallen into no man's land between infielders and outfielders. There's another one, a double for Knee-high, another RBI. He's got 4 on the morning already. Corey Jones has already scored twice, plus he's got an RBI. This one may come down, Joe, to last run, last at bat. It might be 14-11. This one is drilled to straightaway center field, and that one's gone. Keegan Archon with a 3-run home run. Back and forth we go. A no-doubter off the bat of Keegan Archon. And I got to think that's going to be it for Michael Jamison. Robbie Schweier is looking to be heading into the game. He is coming down towards the infield. Jamison goes an inning and 2/3. 8 runs. Five hits. The walks certainly did not help. We'll take a break as we let Robbie Schweier make his ISC World Tournament debut. And we'll be back to see what other fireworks or what more fireworks are in store.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
So Derek Mason will look at a strike from Robbie Schweier as he gets into his first game action in the 2024 ISC World Tournament. Joe, we had Robbie up here the other night. Great interview, so well spoken, and talked about his experiences as he clips Derek Mason on the arm guard. Not even sure Mason felt that. But he talked about how emotional he felt with the ISC Hall of Fame induction. And as we hear from just about all of the inductees, Joe, it's all about the friendships that you make and the people in the game. You remember some of the scores and, of course, the championships that you're involved in, as this one is lifted way up in the infield. Biagini will settle under it, and Robbie Schweier will get the last out of the inning from the bat of Chris Walushka. The Pirates send 9 to the plate in the second. They score 5, and they lead 8-5. But this second inning isn't done yet. We've still got a Black Knight team coming to the plate in the bottom half. Stay tuned. There could be more. I'm sure there will be.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
The annual Boys' Summer Tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys' Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast.
The Boys of Summer Tournament, Joe, one of, if not the best event. Well, it's hard to say there's a best event other than the ISC World Tournament, but that is one of the top invitationals on the circuit. A bunt, and that just goes foul from Biagini, the only guy who didn't get to bat in the first inning. We've been to Circle Tap twice now and enjoyed ourselves immensely both times.
Great time.
Here at Softball City this year, and boy, Joe, this is going to be one for the memory banks. Is this one well hit, deep right field, to the fence, and right at the fence. Making the catch is Pat Burns. Takes away a potential home run off the bat of Dante Biagini. Boy, the balls are flying here today.
Great concentration by Burns, backtracking all the way, always keeping his eye on that ball.
Back to the top of the shop for Dustin Houtsey, longtime teammate and friend of mine in the early 2010s, and he laces this one out to center field for a base hit. Houtsey is 1 for 1 as he was hit by the first pitch of the game from Riley Mannion. Liam Potts continues to throw down in the bullpen, and now the roles are reversed, Joe, because it was Kegel who had the lead after their big bottom of the first inning, so they kept Michael Jamieson in there. But now the Pirates with a 3-run lead, keeping Riley Mannion around, and I guess you keep him in there until maybe the game is tied. Maybe.
Just going to keep trying. See if we can have a good, clean inning. That's what they're looking for.
Well, the furthest thing from clean innings is what we've had so far. 8 runs on 5 hits for the Pirates. 3 massive home runs. The Knights, a couple of home runs of their own in the bottom of the first. And they just missed one, leading things off here in the bottom of the second. A solid single by Houts. Mike Lewis at the plate. He singled and scored back in the first. Just off the outside corner. The breeze where we are, Joe, at the top of the grandstand, just on the third base side of home plate, is barely noticeable here. But when you look at the flags in the outfield, particularly if you get one up into the jet stream, they are almost straight out now. So there's a considerable wind, tailwind for the batters. Not that any of these home runs needed any wind assistance. Chopper on the ground. Taylor made for one. Back to first and in and out of the glove of Corey Jones. I don't think they were going to get Mike Lewis. Houts erased 6-4. And the fielder's choice for Mike Lewis. Jeff Lewis, a line drive home run over the center right field fence. A lot of pitches from Riley Mannion. 44. And counting. And again, just in the second inning, the bottom of the second inning, 44 pitches. Jamison was up close to 60 before he got the hook after an inning and 2/3. And staying away from Jeff Lewis, 3-0. You run the risk right now, Joe, of having to place one into the strike zone to get a call. And if I'm Jeff Lewis and if I'm Doc Landreman down in the third base coach's box, he's got the green light.
Sure.
Well, up and in, ball 4, not even an opportunity to go chase. So 2 runners aboard for the cleanup batter. Jaden Stratford walked and scored on a 2-run home run by Damon Creasy. And nobody hotter than Damon Creasy in the tournament right now. 2 home runs yesterday, 5 RBIs, another one this morning, another couple of RBIs. He's having a tournament in his last 3 at-bats. Straight back to the screen.
Stratford also does the Ezekiel bat wag, too, at the top of his strike.
Is it as good as Toriyama's or Bradley's?
No. He's practicing, though.
Trying to join that club. Yeah, he's not pointing it out towards Riley Mannion here like Toriyama would be. Called a strike to the outside corner. 0-2 on the young catcher from New Zealand. Potts has thrown a game and a half in the bullpen already, Joe. Continues to warm down there. Mannion misses downstairs. A little erratic today for Riley. Hasn't been able to consistently find the zone, and I think that's part and parcel of the body language right now that you see from Riley, too. The long walk around the perimeter of the circle. He's trying to gather himself. Change-up. Can't get the call.
Just been a real tough year for Riley Mannion, suffering that injury earlier and not being able to really rehabilitate that injury, and now getting to the point where you're at the World Tournament and you just haven't built up the endurance to last at this peak. The very important part of the year.
So he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. The changeup was close. The other two, not so much. And that endurance factor, Joe, is a real key point. It's a great point that you make. Because if you're laboring out there physically, it's hard to throw strikes.
Yeah, you just don't have that strength in your legs.
He zips this one in and gets Stratford to swing through it. Hardly a clean inning, but it is a shutdown inning in the sense that the Knights don't add to their total. So through 2 complete, Grand Prairie 8. Kegel Black Knights 5. I'm going to hazard a guess, Joe, that it's not going to end that way.
No.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is So Robbie Schweier will try to shut things down against this hard-hitting Grand Prairie Pirates team. Joe catching up with Kevin Kamueller in between innings. Always great to see the big man from Minnesota. He's got friends on this Black Knights squad and wanted to just check in and was astounded by the line score, the box score that's up there right now.
Kevin has friends everywhere.
He absolutely does. And we always say this, in a game full of great guys, Kevin is one of them. Big cut by Mitch Stack, walked and scored in that 5-run uprising by Grand Prairie in the second inning. Changeup from Robbie Schweier, a good one. Stack caught looking. And Joe, so far, at least for Robbie Schweier, no signs of any tightness in the back. Looks good, throwing strikes. Robbie, of course, doesn't throw near as hard as he did back in his prime, but I think he would be the first to tell you that he's a pitcher now, not a thrower.
And Robbie, also a fitness nut, too, so I'm sure he did a lot of stretching and exercising this morning to make sure that back was good and prepared for this game.
And Joe, I was hoping we would get to say this today. 2 guys, Schellenberg and Schweier, still playing from the Farm Tavern days. And Kevin reminded me in a text that he played for the Farm in 06, 07, I think were the dates, might be 07, 08. And I've been saying for years, because Kevin's been out of the game for 3 years, as he chases upstairs, that Robbie Schweier, Jason Hill, Zen, and Winters were the last 3 surviving members of the Farm Tavern. Well, we got to add Kevin Schellenberg back to that list. And Shelley, thanks for reminding me about that. And thanks, as always, for the kind words and the support that you offer and for everything that you've done for the game out here in BC and Western Canada. Chases upstairs. Down goes Schellenberg on strikes. And Robbie Schweier very quickly picks up 2 strikeouts. So top of the shop, Braden Archon, his 3rd at bat in 3 innings. And when you've got 8 runs on the board, 5 hits, and a collection of walks, that's what happens. You get a lot of at-bats in the game.
Robbie Schweier just has to be around the plate, throw some strikes. Just try not to walk people and let your defense work.
Well, Archon, one of 2 guys for the Pirates who haven't been able to get in on the run parade. He's got a pair of ground outs to the left side. One to Crouch and one to be a Genie. And that is a fair ball over the bag, all the way out to left field. Hout slides across the line to corral it from going to the fence. Boy, you couldn't have walked out there, Joe, and bowled it down the line any better. That was a hugger all the way.
Good quick hands there. Just put contact on that with the barrel of the bat.
So, folks, just so you know, we've got the open home plate camera here right now. Luciano has gone to double-check the setup on Diamond 2 as we are streaming on multiple diamonds. He'll be back in a couple of minutes. We're going to stick with this open shot. That goes to the screen. Little errant pitch from Schweier, and Stratford not able to leap up and corral that. So up to third base goes Archon. The wind picks up again. The flags straight at attention, but left to right, blowing out to center right field. No, did not go on the check, says third base umpire Mike Morrissey. Jones is 2 for 2. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Not sure what the delay was.
Well, I think the catcher caught a foul ball when it came off the bat.
He got it off the hand? Okay.
Yeah. Umpire just giving him some time.
Sorry, I missed that, so thank you. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sorry, 2 and 1. Reverse that. Lifted way up in the air and behind the bag. Creasy calling for it and pulls that down. So the double and up to third on the wild pitch is stranded. Rob Schweier does the job and shuts down the Pirates here in the 3rd inning. And maybe, Joe, this one is going to settle down into a bit of a rhythm.
We hope so. We'll be back in a few moments.
So we'll go to the bottom of the third inning, Joe. We're an hour and 5 minutes into this one. We're just getting to the bottom of the third inning now.
Hopefully we pick up the pace a bit.
Kegel scored 5 in the first, threatened in the second, but unable to push anything across. Rob Schweier kept the door shut on the Pirates in the top of the third, and Riley Mannion back out on the board. Liam Potts has actually gone back to the dugout for a bit of a break. It was an exceptionally long inning for Liam Potts. I bet you he threw 60, 70 pitches in warm-up down there. B.J. Gullick, a ground out in the first. Sorry, this is Creasy. I'm a batter ahead of myself. Damon Creasy, a 2-run home run in the first. This one's downstairs. And like I said, he might be the hottest guy in the tournament right now. 2 home runs yesterday. One of them was a grand slam. 5 RBIs. Accounted for 5 of the 6 runs in the Knights' 6-1 win over Pueblo. Pettit had 14 Ks. No, that was in the Sydney game.
Yep.
Sorry. Josh Pettit has done virtually all of the pitching for the Knights. And we'll see how long they go with Schweier before they bring in, if they bring in Pettit. This is an elimination game. Fargo 10-0 win over the Chippewa Chiefs in their opening game. They lost 2-0 to JB the other night. Micah Pimentel for JB had an exceptional game that night, but so did Josh Pettit. That was pitch for pitch up until the 6th inning. Skips away from Keegan Archon, and up to second goes Creasy. They had to come right back the next morning to the Knights and play the Sydney Tropics. Pettit 14 Ks. In that one, they won 1-0.
That was a real good ball game.
And then yesterday morning, 6-1 win over Pueblo. We got to sleep in a couple of extra hours today. They were on at 11 instead of 9 a.m. Well, there goes Liam Potts back out to the bullpen. Fouled straight back to the screen by Gullick. Stepped into the bucket, I think is the old expression, Joe, on that swing. He was ahead of it.
Got to be patient, lay back, follow your hands through.
Just off the outside corner. 3-1 now to B.J. Gullick. And Joe, if you count the hit by pitch to Dustin Houts in the first, 4 walks in counting.
Must have told Riley Mannion that he's getting the ball this morning and you're going to go as long as we can. Going to be a long road once you drop down, so.
Yeah, you're going to play a lot of games no matter what. Kegel comes in with a 3-1 record. The Pirates were 2-1 because they won their first 2. Kegel having to play the extra game because they dropped their second one. And that's going to be a fair ball, I think. Yeah, it stayed fair when it was grabbed by Corey Jones. B.J. Gullick is a little dubious because that took a hard right turn right at the bag. And I guess it's the question is where did he catch it versus where he ended up with it.
Yes.
So up to third went Creasy. Gullick out 3 unassisted if you're following along on Game Changer. Tom Crouch down on strikes in the first. Chases the rise ball upstairs. All the production for Kegel in the top 5 in the order. And this is a little flare going back right in behind the bag. It'll be Chris Walushka will call for that in behind the bag, either he or Schellenberg. Both of them are from British Columbia here. Either of them could have made that play. Logan Boom, the center fielder for the Black Knights, struck out swinging to end the first. Creasy walked up to second on the wild pitch and to third on the ground out. He's got good speed on anything that gets through to the screen. 2-0, that pitch just off the corner of the plate, and hasn't really earned that pitch just off the corner.
Yeah, when you throw a lot of balls, you got to earn your credentials with the umpire.
And misses inside, so make it 3-0 to the 8-batter Logan Boom. Last thing you want to do is put a couple of guys on for Dante Biagini, who just missed a home run in the second. Called a strike, bottom of the zone on the outside corner. 3-1 to Logan Boom. And there's ball 4, just off the plate. Fourth walk, 5 if you count the hit by pitch. And that looks like it's going to be it for Mannion, as Donnie... Sorry, it's not Donnie who came out. Pat on the back, but that's not it.
No.
At least not yet. Go with Riley as long as you're ahead, I guess, is the script right now.
Riley Mannion with 70 pitches so far in the game.
So Dante Biagini.
Little higher.
Yeah, upstairs. Had some zip on it, but upstairs. Lifted up in the infield again. Walushka shading his eyes from the sun. Pulls that down at the edge of the grass. The Knights strand another 2. That 8-5 lead intact through 3 complete. 1 hour and 14 minutes for 3 innings, Joe.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, you knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From counting materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colours. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
Pat Burns will get his third plate appearance here in the top of the 4th inning. Reached on catcher interference, which effectively is an error on the catcher, and then walked in the 2nd inning, but he scored both times. So getting on base and doing the job. To the screen from Robbie Schweier, just missed the mascot. Oh, good glove there by Robbie Schweier. Reaches out and intercepts that hard shot that looked like it was going to be destined for a base hit up the middle.
Good reflexes. Yeah, good reflexes. Took a nice high bounce for Robbie.
Helps to be 6'2" in that circumstance, too. Scott Nehigh, 3-run home run. RBI double. If this game goes long enough, Joe, if he gets a single, we'll see if Scott can leg one out for the triple for a cycle. Or he might do that this at bat. You never know. Line shot, but right at Jeff Lewis. Robbie Schweier getting some breaks this inning.
Throwing a very economical quantity of pitches.
Well, and changing speeds, too. I mean, that was a line drive, but he changed the speed on it, and Scott Nehigh was out in front. He did hit that off the end of the bat. Certainly wasn't the laser beam that he hit for the home run. Off speed to Keegan Archon. He's got a home run of his own today. And a good drop on the outside corner from Robbie Schweier. Gets Keegan Archon swinging over top. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning. A slugfest through the first 2 between the Pirates and the Knights. Hard hit, 1 hopper out to the second baseman, Damon Creasy. The underhand flip. And Joe, believe it or not, in the top of the 4th, a 3-up, 3-down inning.
Holy.
Believe it or not.
Yes. Good job by Robbie Schweier.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Liam Potts is on the board for the Grand Prairie Pirates. He has warmed up about a game's worth, Joe, as he was up within 2 or 3 batters. Well, it was the third batter, actually, Jeff Lewis, who homered for the Kegel Black Knights. Shortly thereafter, Potts popped out of the bullpen. And as I look down the bullpen, still there's activity down there.
Heine?
Jonas Heine. The Pirates don't want to take any chances. They're currently enjoying this 8-5 lead. I said, Joe, it wouldn't end that way, but we have had a couple of zeros thrown up in the interim. Riley Mannion goes 3 innings, collected himself a little bit after the first in terms of not allowing any runs, but 5 base on balls and was able to escape jams in the second and the third unscathed. So got through the batting order twice. And that may have been what they were asking him to do, but you said over 70 pitches through 3 innings. Top of the shop for Kegel, Dustin Houts hit by a pitch, singled in the first 2. Straight back to the screen. Oh, I thought we were going to have a chance at that one, Joe. It hit right at the top of the screen. Two Toronto Batmen and Glowworm. We've got that one up on the second channel on ISC YouTube. One hopper into the glove of Corey Jones. He'll step on the bag for first out of the inning. Ty Sebastian pitching for Toronto, and it was, who was pitching for Glowworm again? It was Valdez.
Valdez.
Mike Lewis now at the plate, singled, scored, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, chases after the rise ball here for strike 1. Five runs on 3 hits for the Kegel Black Knights. Jeff Lewis, a big 3-run home run. Damon Creasy with a 2-run shot. And we want to thank Jerry Betts for the lineups for the next one. I can just about guarantee you, Joe, that that one's not going to start at 1 o'clock.
No. Hope for 2.
For the AWP Lumberjacks, it'll be Brad Kilpatrick, Luis Colombo, surprise starter for JB. Get you to pass that over to Luciano. We'll give one of these to our good friend Peter Labardius. One ball, 2 strikes to Mike Lewis. Lifted out to center field, center right, and then coming across to make the grab is Pat Burns. That tailed a little bit as it got up into the jet stream. So 2 down, bases empty, and if you're a Pirates fan, this is probably the scenario you would like to see the most when Jeff Lewis comes to the plate. They were pretty careful pitching around him after that home run in the first. Didn't really get anything to go after in the second.
Eric Bodden from Las Vegas, Nevada, home plate umpire in this game.
Isn't this not the Salgado guy?
Oh, it is. Sorry. Yes, Eric, you are correct. Eric Salgado. Sorry about that.
I know there's a couple of Salgados playing.
Yes. I was wondering if they were related too.
Well, I'm sure that's a pretty common name. But I'm sure all the Smiths are somewhat related somewhere. You go back far enough. Swing and a miss. Liam Potts, a 3-up, 3-down inning of his own as he sits down Jeff Lewis. Down go the Kegel Black Knights in the fourth. This 8-5 lead intact for the Grand Prairie Pirates. The fireworks seem to have settled down for now. I'm sure we'll see some more.
The embers are still flickering.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Mattiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved.
Well, we'll come back and visit Mr. Ned's a little bit later, but as always, we want to thank Var Matiosian and his sponsorship, a longtime sponsor here on the ISC network, longtime supporter what we do, longtime sponsor of the New York Gremlins, going all the way back to their New York Knights days, 2008 ISC2. And Varm was a sponsor of Globe fastball, or modified fastball. And Greg Leather was with, I guess it was the Gremlins, they recall, as Bruce Tansky was sponsoring back then. And they were competing head-to-head, and as the modified game slowly died off, they came over to fast pitch with some of their modified guys. They added some others, Billy Hillhouse, and formed the New York Knights. Played in that played in that ISC2 tournament in 2008 in Appleton, Wisconsin. Finished third with Brian. They added Brian Newton, picked up, I think, Jeremy Tracy from the TNT team, and moved up to ISC. And the team evolved from there. They were Chicago, New York for a couple of seasons. Fully formed as the Gremlins by 2013, I believe. But 2012, I think, was still Chicago, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Mason, ball 4 from Rob Schweier. So it won't be a clean inning here. Although a double play is never out of the question with the good middle infield defense that the Knights possess. Chris Walushka struck out swinging and popped out to the shortstop. Schweier just trying to figure out where the edge of the zone is.
Mm-hmm.
Little bleeder on the ground. Turns, throws to second for one. Back to first, not in time. They went for the double play. Mason, a hard slide into second to try and break that up. And going for a little jog to shake that off is Biagini.
Good overhand throw there by Schweier to the shortstop. Biagini.
So Mitch Stack walked, scored, and then down on strikes, leading things off in the third against Robbie Schweier. It's day 2 for the Legends tournament. They've got a full slate of games today. ISC 2 tournament is getting down to the sharp end. We just had a couple of teams move on and a couple of teams eliminated. Championship for ISC 2, Joe, goes tomorrow at 3 or 4? 3 o'clock here on the main diamond. As always, we'll have that one for you here on the ISC network, to be followed by the quick award ceremony. Joe, I see the JB team coming in. Looks like they might be they are the home team down on the third base side. They're out in behind that left field scoreboard as a group. Ismael Pena, if you were with us last night, you saw that scary collision taken off the field by ambulance to the local hospital. There were no head, neck, or spinal concerns. Want to lay that to rest. As a bunt attempt here by Stack. It was precautionary in measure. He was going to be examined at last check that we heard last evening. We have not received any updates. That one fouled back into the screen. Mitch Stack, originally from Petty Harbor in Newfoundland, one of the pretty towns, one of many pretty towns out on Canada's east coast. The home of North Atlantic Zip Lines.
Oh, done that?
I have.
Very good.
Ryan Boland and the Stacks helped arrange that for my family and I when we were down there visiting in 2016. There's a little flare down the right side, but that'll be foul. Oh, it's the team photo that the JB guys are doing with the scenic forest in the background.
Good idea.
That's a great spot for a team photo. Three and two on Stack. Over the top, a real good slow drop from Rob Schweier. Changing speeds, movement on the ball. Kevin Schellenberg. Sacrifice bunt and a beauty in the second. Down on strikes in the third. Skates, as he's known.
Yes.
Schweier misses upstairs, 2-0. Not happy with himself. Sure, you can just hear that with the boom mic that Luciano's got installed for us. Two and one. Full slate of games for you today on the ISC network. This is the first of 5, ultimately, that we're going to bring you. Snap throw down, easily back in time as Chris Walushka. You're not going to get a veteran like Chris Walushka on that.
No. Not his first rodeo.
Coming up, JB and the AWP Lumberjacks. Chopper on the infield. Schweier waits for it to come down and one-hops Jeff Lewis at first, but he handles that. Robbie Schweier waits for him to come by and gives him a pat on the back. Thanks for picking me up. The Pirates strand one in the top of the 5th inning. We'll go to the bottom half. Kegel Black Knights have got to wake the bats up. They've been silent since the first.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, you knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From counting materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colours. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
So Jaden Stratford, Damon Creasy, BJ Gullock, 4-5-6 for the Kegel Knights here in the 5th. And Joe, this game that started so excitingly has kind of gotten into a bit of a lull here through the middle innings.
Neither team scoring now for almost 3 innings. Bats have been quieted. Pitchers have finally found their zone.
Well, Potts and Schweier coming on in relief have both done admirable jobs.
Now we just cursed him.
You know, that always happens, doesn't it? The curse of the broadcasters. Jaden Stratford aboard with his 2nd walk of the day, sandwiched around a strikeout. Damon Creasy, a 2-run home run in the 1st, a walk in the 3rd. Got as far as 3rd. To the shortstop, in and out of the glove. Schellenberg recovers and flips it backhand, but boy, is he not happy. He picked up a handful of dirt and chucked it into the wind. He's as normally sure-handed as anyone at short. You can just see it kick in and out of the glove. He's lucky it didn't roll away from him any further. He was able to scramble and backhand it over to Walushka covering at the bag.
Good play to stay with that ball.
Well, that could have been 2, but a fielder's choice is all they'll get. BJ Gullock, a pair of groundouts to the right side. Change up, punched out to short center, and Archon will trot in, make the catch. Can of corn, I think, is the old expression.
Yes. Just a pop up. Gully just didn't get all that ball.
Tom Crouch, strikeout, pop up of his own. Turns away, but gets a called strike on the inside corner. Little slow roller down to Mason. He turns and fires over to first, and a good inning for Liam Potts. The leadoff walk is erased. They strand the runner. Keeps the batter's face to a minimum. 5 complete. 8-5 still for the Pirates.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Dust Up in the debrief sessions, Joe, have been so informative with the guys that they've had on. Colin Abbott, Ryan Wolf, Bradley Ezekiel, and obviously the hosts, and adding Nick Shales, but Steve Mullally, Jason Hill. It's been great listening. These shorter episodes, the debrief episodes, have just been terrific.
And thank you, boys, for the T-shirts. I got them last year in Circle Tap.
Logan Boom. Sorry. Wrong side of the scoreboard. Braden Archon, top of the 6th. That one was fouled on the left side. Wasn't sure we were going to get to the top of the 6th, Joe, after the way the first couple of innings went. But there's been a lot of zeros thrown up by Robbie Schweier and Liam Potts ever since.
And the Pirates would like to keep it that way. Knights looking for some runs.
Well, an opportunity for Grand Prairie to extend the lead if they can put a couple of guys aboard and get to the meat of the order. Archon doubled in the 3rd. Got as far as third base, but that was it. Schweier able to shut the door. And that is pulled foul past Tommy Crouch down the third base side, but foul all the way. Jonas Heine is retreated back to the dugout, so no action in the Grand Prairie bullpen. Similarly, the Fargo bullpen is empty. Josh Pettit would be the last guy standing for the Knights. One hopper out to Biagini. Over to first. One down.
Good little ball player, that Biagini.
Yeah, I really like his game. And I like what he's done, too, because there was the opportunity for him to go to a big roster and be a pinch runner and get into games on Saturday afternoons against lower-ranked teams, but he's here playing every day.
You'll learn a lot more here at this level. You got to play in the situation, play in the game. You can make that next step anytime.
Well, that's what I would like to see, is a little bit more of that, is Guys taking the opportunity to play every day.
Share the wealth.
Well, and again, I don't know, we've had this conversation a million times between you, Peter, and I. Yes, you're there to learn some things, and you will absolutely learn many things playing with one of the top 2, 3, 4 clubs. But at some point, you do have to strike out on your own and go play, because you're never going to get better. You might learn everything, but if you're not playing every day, you're not going to get better.
Yeah, the on-field activities are very important. You have to be playing the defense and the offense side of the game.
Corey Jones, 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, another RBI in his column. Upstairs, ball 4. Five walks given up by the Black Knights pitchers thus far.
You just can't get free passes.
No, that's a lot of free bases. Two of those have come around to score as well. Downstairs, that was about a 38.5-footer from Robbie Schweier, and Jaden Stratford unable to come up with it. So up to second base goes Corey Jones on the wild pitch. RBI opportunity for Burns now. Again, reached on catcher interference, not something you see every day, and then walked in the second.
Good hold by Burns.
Talked about how much he really enjoys hitting at this facility. Having a real good World Tournament. Called strike there.
Schweier has to pick a corner here. Can't be too good.
Well, ball 4. Didn't have to worry about being too good.
No.
Second walk of the inning. And this will draw a visit, at least a collection on the mound, or the board. I'm trying not to say mound, but unsuccessful. The dangerous Scott Nehigh, 2 for 3 today, a 3-run home run, an RBI double, a line out. Swinging the bat well. Called a strike. Got a chance with Team Canada at that invitational event prior to the qualifier up in Prince Albert. Not sure that he ever felt comfortable was the word that I got back.
Mm-hmm.
Little bleeder on the infield. They go to second for 1 and erase Pat Burns.
Good play by Lewis.
Yeah, his momentum was taking him to the right, and it was very easy for him to continue for that throw. So 2 down now, and it'll be runners on the corners. Keegan Archon at the plate. Keegan, a 3-run home run of his own in the second. That's been sandwiched around a strikeout and a ground out. Well, you're a popular guy today with all the text and messages.
Man of many hats.
Schweier at the hip. Gets Archon to chase upstairs. That's a good pitch from Robbie Schweier. A little bit of velocity to it and great movement. Pirates looking to add to this 8-5 lead, just to pad this a little. Gets away from Stratford, but Corey Jones had actually, I think, already turned to go back to the bag, as it was a bit of a delayed reaction getting away from Stratford. And he's got his right thumb taped up pretty good. His throwing hand. Again with the rise ball upstairs to Keegan Archon, up and in, and that's a good spot on this big, tall right-hander.
You want to kind of try to tie up his hands.
If you can. But the left-handed batter, I said right-hander, of course he throws right-handed, but left-handed batter. Fouls that one straight back. Got a little too much of the plate. Robbie not thrilled with the location.
Kegel trying to shut down this inning. Don't want these runs to cross the board if they want a chance of coming back.
Yeah, if you want any opportunity here in the 6th and 7th, you've got to close the door. Ground out to the shortstop, a walk. That was erased on the fielder's choice, and Schweier pours in strike 3. Keegan Archon can't pull the trigger. They leave 2 in scoring position in the 6th. Pirates hanging on to this 8-5 lead. We'll see if the Knights can get the bats out of cold storage where they've been since the 1st.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we're really behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Thank you, sir. I noticed you didn't do it as quick. Logan Boom and Dante Biagini, the two youngsters at the bottom of the order for the Kegel Black Knights. Then Dustin Houts back at the top of the shop here in the 6th to face Liam Potts, who has been solid, if not spectacular, Joe, since coming on to start the 4th.
He shut the door and given his team a chance.
Strikes out Logan Boom with the high inside rise ball, and Boom not happy the fact that he chased way upstairs.
The big thing for Potts, he's coming in and throwing strikes.
Dante Biagini missed a home run by mere feet. Pat Burns making the catch, his back up against the fence. Reached up, and it helps that Pat Burns is about, 6'2", 6'3", and able to pull down a home run, steal it away from Dante Biagini. That was in the 2nd inning.
Knights have got a hit here, a hit there, but haven't been able to muster that big crunching hit that they had back in that 1st inning.
Low and in to Biagini. Jonas Heine continues to throw down in the bullpen. It's been a bullpen kind of day, Joe.
Nice changeup.
Yeah, very good changeup. Way out in front is Biagini. Evens the count at 2. And this is flared out to short center on Kahn. Dies but can't come up with it. And racing up to second and aboard with a double is Dante Biagini. Boy, we have seen so many flares just fall out of the reach of diving outfielders here this week.
Good attempt there by Braden Arcon. Biagini's been hitting the ball all game, so that's why Arcon was playing a little deep for that play.
Dustin Houts up to the plate.
Forgot to send out a first base coach.
Oh, Jim Harms is scrambling to get down there. Upstairs, ball 1 to Houts. Braden Arcon shaded a little bit over towards left. There's a big gap out there in right center. Burns is in a few steps as well. And after seeing all the flares, well, he might be. Run it to 1 and 2 on the called strike. Heine wraps up his bullpen session. Changeup called, a strike on the outside corner. Houts is upset. Sent back to the dugout, and he might be done for the game, as I see a note being made, Joe, in the notebook there of home plate umpire
Eric Salgado.
Eric Salgado. So that might have been it for Houts as he pounded the bat into the dirt, and that's pretty much akin to drawing a line.
Yes.
Frustration boiling over. Strike 1 to Mike Lewis. Corey Jones directing some traffic, getting the outfield to shift over a couple steps towards left. Potts filling up the strike zone right now, 0-2. Lewis singled in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, and flew out to right in the fourth. And that is foul backwards. What's going on in the Toronto game? Of course, we have to look, but you can follow along on Game Changer. And you can also put our second YouTube channel onto a small screen somewhere and stay with us and keep track of both games if you're that enabled. Swing and a miss. Foul tip right into the glove of Mike Lewis. A 1-2-3 inning, almost. But Potts does strike out the side. And 5-2, Toronto Batmen in the sixth.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
Hang on. And we're back, and a long delay in between innings as the Kegel Black Knights put Boston Pole out into left field for the ejected Dustin Houts, and that took a while to sort out with the scorekeepers. They play music here during the breaks in between innings, and with all the copyright infringement robots that Facebook and YouTube employ, we try to avoid wherever possible having that leak into the broadcast. So we apologize for that lengthy delay with all the silence. Derek Mason to the plate here in the top of the 7th inning for the Grand Prairie Pirates. Doesn't have an official at bat in this game, Joe. 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
Pretty clean.
But he's been on base all 3 times. Big cut comes up empty on that one. Looking ahead, Joe, to the bottom of the 7th inning for the Knights, it'll be 3-4-5. Jeff Lewis, Jaden Stratford, and Damon Creasy. Those are the guys you want up if you're a Knights fan. Mason looks at strike 3. Good pitch right at the letters from Robbie Schweier. Chris Walushka. Hard to believe, Joe, that there's only 6 hits on the board for Grand Prairie, but we talked about some of the walks.
Those hits were big hits, though, too.
And the big hits, indeed. The home runs from Scott Knee-High, from Keegan Archon. Pair of 3-run home runs. That certainly makes a difference. Fouls this one straight back to the screen. An RBI double mixed in there by Scott Knee-High. Corey Jones with an RBI single. They add up.
Yes.
Coming up, JB and AWP going to estimate about a 1:45 start time, as we're 45 minutes behind on this diamond probably by the end of this one and the start of the next one. Down on strikes as Schweier gets a pair of caught looking to lead things off in the 7th. Just estimating, given the diamond clean up and warm up for the teams.
Great job by Schweier, though, to come in, picking his corners, doing his job, giving his team a chance.
Shane Milligan will pinch it here for Mitch Stack. Milligan, a veteran in the Alberta fastball scene. Go back to the Lloydminster Dodger days. Shane Milligan, a part of those teams. High hopper on the infield, handled by Biagini. And a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 7th. A pair of strikeouts and a ground out. We'll go to the home half. And it's last call at the joust here for the Black Knights. Can they rise to the occasion one more time? Let's find out, shall we?
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Jeff Lewis, way back in the first 3 years ago, hit a 3-run home run. Here he drops down a bunt. There's nobody there, and a board. Oh, my. Jeff Lewis has come up lame past the bag. He was reaching back for the hamstring. Oh, no. He really came up tight, Joe Todd.
Yes.
Looked like Michael Johnson in that 150-meter race, but he probably not faking it. Doc Landerman is going to make his way across the diamond. They don't have a lot left. They've got Jim Harms, who is the first base coach, but he's Legends age plus, and they've got Josh Pettit. I don't know that you want Josh out running the bases. I guess you could use Mike Jameson as, well, they can't do that because Schweier's the flex now.
I think they're leaving him in.
Wow.
He said he could do it.
Okay, well, I hope he doesn't make things any worse.
Yeah, you could just stretch it that much more.
Jaden Stratford. The Knights need to keep hitting here. Swing and a miss at a rise ball up out of the zone for strike one. You got to keep hitting, got to keep getting guys on base. Just pass the baton, so to speak. Well hit, deep center field, to the fence, and gone! A 2-run home run for Jaden Stratford. Make it 8-7. Joe Todd, we got ourselves a ball game like we didn't already.
Good clutch hit there by Stratford. Got all of that ball in the barrel, put it out of the park.
You could just see that one brewing with Jaden Stratford. He put a couple of good swings on balls earlier in the day.
Flags in the outfield are blowing that way too.
Oh, I don't think that needed any help getting out of here.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, but I don't think he needed any help. And Damon Creasy, who's deposited a couple of balls over the fence in the last 24 to 48 hours. 8-7. We talked about having to wake the bats up. And you know what? Jeff Lewis just got to easily trot around the bases, too. No further strain on that hamstring for him. And he's done it again to the fence. Burns robs him. Pat Burns steals another one.
Great grab by Burns.
Creasy stops at third base in disbelief. Pat Burns, who's been doing this in the World Tournament for 10 years, to the fence, reaches up, and goes over.
Amazing catch.
Wow.
Ran a long way for that ball, too.
That's two that he's brought back. Well, not even brought back, just stolen. B.J. Gullick to the plate.
So important to get that first out in the inning.
No matter how you get it.
Yeah.
cue shot foul. Joe, I've got 2 defensive plays starred in my book here, both of them by Patrick Burns. The one on Dante Biagini, relatively routine. This one, not so much. Swing and a miss. Down goes B.J. Gullick.
Great drop ball by Potts.
So the night season will come down to Tom Crouch. Thinks about a bunt. Just trying to get a board and move the string along. Taking a page out of the book of Jeff Lewis.
Potts should just try and keep the ball low, keep it in the infield.
There's a line shot out to right. Tommy Crouch will keep the night season alive with a base hit. They're not going to go quietly here in the 7th, are they, Joe?
Great punch there by Crouch, taking that outside pitch, driving it out to right field.
And that might be it for Liam Potts. The coach popped out of the dugout pretty quickly after that base hit. Heine has been down in the bullpen again for a fair bit of this inning. Tommy Crouch will just trot over to have a word with Doc Landreman. Logan Boom, the latest guy to have the season rest on his shoulders. Crouch, the tying run at first. Boom represents the game winner.
Pirates trying to shut the door, trying to close this game out.
Downstairs, ball 1.
So important for that first pitch strike.
Well, unfortunately, he didn't get it. And there evens up the count, 1-1. Big deep breath from Potts. And he gets Boom to chase it one in the dirt for strike 2. Did him a favor.
Got to come back with that same pitch.
Down to their last strike, the Black Knights. Swing and a miss, an inside rise ball. The Grand Prairie Pirates hang on by the skin of their teeth. Pat Burns steals a couple of home runs over the course of the game, but none bigger than the one on Damon Creasy here in the bottom of the 7th. Make the final 8-7 for the Grand Prairie Pirates in a slugfest. Joe Todd, an exciting one to lead things off. I think we're going to see more of this kind of stuff all day long here in the ISC network.
Pat Burns just picked up the Softball Premier TV highlight of the day so far on that great catch.
Through game 1.
Through game 1.
Thanks for joining us here this morning and into the afternoon. Coming up, Peter Labardius will bring you the AWP Lumberjacks and JB. We'll be back all day long here on the network and into the evening. Make some plans to join us, get comfortable. We'll keep you entertained.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. Softball Premier TV